Ever since I've known Chef Tawnya Brant, she has always raved about her incredible family farm here at Six Nations of the Grand River, home of the Mohawk, Onondaga, Oneida, Seneca, Tuscarora, and Cayuga Nations. It is the largest First Nations reserve in Canada. But to Tawnya, it's simply home.
Hey, Tawnya.
Oh, hey, how's it going? See you.
Oh my goodness.
You're finally here.
I am so excited. You've talked so highly of your farm and all of the things you grow. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm happy to have you, and you'll see that we're kind of in peak season of flowers right now, so in between some of those, there's some vegetables.
There's some vegetables? Okay, cool.
The first thing Tawnya showed me was her seed garden, cultivated by her mother before she recently passed away. The work started here a generation ago still guides how Tawnya feeds her family and expands the property.
So what do you have going on in here?
This is the main part of our garden, the part where we're babying seeds.
Okay.
This is kind of where my mom would make sure no cross pollination or contamination from other things would happen.
Yeah.
So there's about 12 60-foot rows, which doesn't look big, right? So it kind of doesn't until you're in there weeding it.
Until you're in there weeding it, and then you're like, oh my gosh.
And then you're like, okay, I'm over it, this is big enough.
Yeah. Well, you've always talked about how growing gardens is about sharing, right?
Exactly, yes. So for Haudenosaunee people, that's our greatest ethic is our compassion, right? And we grow our gardens to show compassion, to see people not go without and to share. And it's a way of our showing our love, right? Currently, we are inundated with peaches.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe we can make a little peach dessert while we're here.
I love
over the campfire, we got a fire going, and let's do it all. Let's do it all.
I love it. I'm ready. We're tall. We can get peaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next, Tawnya took me to pick some of the best peaches I have ever had. It was peak peach season, and there was plenty to pick.
Look at that. Was that they're pink inside? I love it when they're pink inside.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
So peaches, they're not originally from Canada, right?
No.
They weren't originally grown here.
Nope, kind of post American Revolution, 1812 is when we came up to this way. We actually helped to establish the orchards in the Niagara region.
Oh, right on.
We're agrarian people, so everything we do, we would grow. So we're farmers, so we saw this one, we were like, yeah, I think this one can come with us.
Yeah.
This one's pretty good, we'll let it hang around.
That's amazing.
So yeah, they really did help establish all the orchards and stuff in the Niagara region, and some of us came here, and it's kind of where we've stayed.
Yeah.
And with those peaches and ingredients from her garden, Chef Tawnya whipped up an amazing campfire peach cobbler.
You talked a lot about, again, the Haudenosaunee people, but also your mom really focused so much on sharing, whether it's sharing food, sharing knowledge. Is that something that you kind of try to keep going with?
Definitely with my kids, yes.
Yeah.
For me, now it's to a point to how do we remember Duda? How do we not forget her? How do we, carry that on in the way that she raised us is what I wanted for my boy. That's why I live at home.
Yeah.
Right? We can live wherever we want, but I choose to be here.
Yeah.
Her biggest thing was, you want to live lightly on this earth. You want to leave it nicer than it was when you came here, to keep yourself busy, because that's so important for your mental health, right? To know that you're needed, that you're wanted, and that what you're doing is good work, right? Because we're all human, right? And we all want to feel like we're needed, right? Whether we know it or not, we do need to know that we're needed.
Yeah.
And I think that was some of her biggest teachings and takeaways, was just being able to share and making sure people knew that they were wanted, needed, and appreciated.
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
yeah.
And what better way than through sharing delicious, amazing food?
That's exactly it.
Tawnya, this has been absolutely amazing.
I'm so happy you've finally been able to stop by.
Honestly, you've been talking about this place ever since we first met, and it is more magical than I could have imagined. Hot?
No, it's good.
It's good.
I love it. But I do want you to take the rest of these peaches home with you.
So I don't know, I can love you more. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, please welcome Chef Tawnya. Hey, Tawnya. Oh my gosh, I was saying when we were watching that edit, that was such an amazing day.
Yeah, it really was. It was. I was really happy to have you.
Yeah, honestly, it was so beautiful. And that peach, oh my goodness. It was the best cobbler I've ever had, or crisp or whatever. It was so good. Yeah. It was amazing.
I mean, it was awesome for never having made it before.
I know, you're like, not too shabby.
It's real campfire food.
Yeah.
Just work with what we got.
100%.
But yeah, no, it was a good day, and I'm just really happy that you came.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Well, today I'm really excited because you're going to show us another recipe.
Yes.
And this is for using, again, things that are kind of in season right now. So what are we working on today?
Today I wanted to make a Three Sisters fritter. I'm thinking, it's harvest season. We have all these beautiful ingredients to work with right now.
Yeah,
this is what we're going to add as our flavor and as like the Three Sisters, right? So we've heard the story of the Three Sisters and how they support each other, and it's kind of this a very simple permaculture growing concept. For Haudenosaunee people, it means a little bit more than that. And it actually reminds us of women. You think sisters, three sisters, and how do you think of three sisters? And that they grow and live and like this, even if you're not the same species, you do have to live together. And those are women's teachings to let you know, like, we are life givers, right? And we're the ones that are in charge of planting the seeds because we're life givers, right? So when people have just that concept in mind, it's having that unity, especially as women, and knowing that we're supported and that everybody has to be supported no matter what you do. But it's just a really good reminder. So whenever I hear that word Three Sisters, it's always just in the back of my mind, and knowing that what my role is as a Ginyangehaga woman, and it is to support the people around me, especially like I have a bunch of sisters. I have three sisters, right? So there's a lot of feminine energy in the house growing up. But it's just about that support system and how we do that and how that reflects on our communities and the well-rounded kids and people that we become when we're in this society like that, right?
That's amazing. And you've talked about before how when these three sisters grow, the corn, the squash, the beans, that in the actual ground, the one ingredient gives nitrogen, which helps the other grow. So maybe it's a give and take. Yeah, which is like a perfect.
Well, it's a job.
Yeah.
Right? That's a job for them, and they continue to do what Creator put out for them.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder for us to do the same, right? That we have purpose, right?
Yeah. Now the squash, I would see we've got beautiful corn, we've got some nice green beans, which was absolutely amazing. And for the squash, you wanted to chat about getting it into there a little differently.
I mean, you can do it a ton of different ways. Like you could use like a pumpkin puree.
Oh, beautiful.
If you just have squash that you already have cooked and you just mash it up and throw it in there, it would make the bread a nice little orange color to it. I just chose to do this because I thought it would look cool having like little flecks in there, right?
Like confetti almost.
It's the chef in me, right? So make it prettier. So just like that. Yeah. And because it has a short cook time, like that's enough time to cook it. Like you don't even have to cook it, right?
Yeah, I know, you can eat it raw. It's perfect. I love that. Okay, so for these fritters, what do we get started with?
So this is kind of like a cornbread recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix our wet ingredients and our dry. I'll get you to do the wet
ones. Perfect, there you go.
So for our wet ingredients, we have some melted butter, we have an egg there, some milk, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup.
Oh, I love
So it's gonna
that.
give it a nice little sweetness to it, right? And it's gonna help bring that out. Corn's fairly sweet, and then the corn niblet, so you get these little pops of sweet flavor in there. So it's like, it's really yummy that way.
I love it. Now, Tawnya, you gave me a bottle of your maple syrup. It's the best maple syrup I've ever had in my life. It's so delicious. Yeah.
So I have flour and cornmeal that I just put in here. We're gonna do a little bit of salt.
Beautiful.
Some baking powder to leaven it. And then we got a little bit of seasonings in there because we always want a little bit of flavor in there. So we have some onion and garlic powders.
Beautiful. Okay, cool.
Okay.
It's a little humid in here. Yeah.
So it's really good. So we got it mixed up. You want to do that because you want to make sure that your salt and your baking powder especially are well incorporated.
Totally.
You get one flat and one real fluffy.
Yeah. Totally.
So that would be good. And then you're going to mix your wet to your dry. And we'll give that a bit of a mix. So you're doing this in steps because if we were just to throw the veg in here, it would just, get flour on it, get kind of stuck and get kind of,
That's the thing. I find it doesn't incorporate. Like some flour will hide in one of those green beans, and then you end up with just a raw flour bite, which is not tasty.
So this way you end up with a nice batter. Then you put your add-ins in, right?
Oh my gosh,
and
this
like I
batter
said,
looks
add-ins,
beautiful.
it can be anything. They don't have to be green beans. They can be canned beans. They can be any vegetable, really. So that's why I thought this is a really good one for, cleaning out the fridge. What kind of veg do you got? Let's throw it all in there, right?
I remember you've made a succotash almost before with similar things, which is like one of your fridge drawer clean out recipes.
Yes. Well, like growing up, we always had a garden, and that's one of the things is that when you have a garden, you always have like a couple of things, right? So a lot of our recipes, when we get down to it, it's always just like oh, well, I
What
got
got
one
hanging
tomato,
around?
I got 2 onions,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like, meh, throw it all in.
Yeah. And then you end up with delicious campfire crisp cobblers
That-
or
right.
an amazing fritter.
Some delicious experiments.
Do you know what I love about this grating of the squash too? Is that it kind of looks like cheddar cheese. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Fool those kids,
Fool
don't
those
tell
kids,
them
yeah.
squash.
No, yeah.
Let them find out the hard way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it looks great, and then you can see that batter, and that it's just so cute, right? Like
Yeah.
so when you're biting into it, you're getting all these colors too. So
Yeah.
it's like a funfetti.
A funfetti fritter, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we grabbed that. We've got some oil over here, some hot oil.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got oil on. We have a 2-ounce scoop that we're using. You can use a 1 ounce if, say, you're making them for an event or something for little apps. But these are a little more substantial if you're having them for dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put 2 in there. They do take probably about a good 5 minutes to actually cook through. And if you're gonna check them, you can kind of just break them, make sure like the dough inside's okay.
It's cooked through.
If one's okay, then the rest in the pot should be okay. But once they come out,
Yes.
they do look like these
Look
gorgeous little balls here.
Now, if you didn't, I am pro a deep fry. I love a deep fry. You get
Yeah.
that beautiful golden crisp on the outside. It actually doesn't absorb a ton of oil either. It's just
No.
kind of a pain to get rid of the oil after. Could you pan fry these?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll get more of that classic actual fritter kind of look, almost like a fish cake, right?
Yeah.
And you can really control the amount of oil that way, even if you're using a non-stick pan and you don't want to use oil, right? So
nice.
if that's a dietary thing for you, you can definitely mix as much of that oil as you need to.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, and then and honestly, all of these little tendrils are what I call the chef snack, and you
Chef
just pull
snack.
them off until they're all tasted.
bits are great.
The crunchy bits. All right, and then you wanted to do a little bit of a sauce with these, right?
Right? You always got to have a sauce.
Yeah, I
right?
love a sauce.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking just this time of year, we're kind of getting to the end of our blueberry season and our cranberries are starting to come on. So I was like, well, let's just mix them, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't pick a favorite.
Yeah.
So what we did is we took those berries and we cooked them down for like a while because we want the skins and everything to really break down. And we're gonna use an immersion blender on it because I don't like taking out like the skins, like the seed, like all those are like the healthy parts, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to take those out and strain them out all the time.
Yeah.
And then there's just like this wonderful pectin in there, so it gives it a jelly consistency, and you don't even have to add pectin. We just did a little bit of sugar and water
Yeah.
and our berries and let them boil for a while.
The cranberries are so full of pectin. You know when you make a
Yeah.
cranberry sauce and it's
Yeah.
thick and jammy so easily?
that.
Okay, so we got that looking good. Oh man, yeah.
Is this one on?
I think so. Oh
Do it
yeah.
in
Is this
before I
thing
do it
on?
inside.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's already jammy.
Oh yeah.
And then this is just good, like I said, we're going to events, you don't want to have like that berry fall on your white shirt. Right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, wearing a white shirt while doing this is very brave. Yeah.
Just pretend it's a chef jacket.
Yeah.
And wipe everything on it. But
That
okay,
looks
so that should be good.
stunning. Oh my gosh, look at the
It's
color.
just to break up the berries a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And give it a little bit more of a smoother consistency.
Totally.
So I'll get you to bring those
Okay,
over
let's grab
and
these
we'll
babies and let's plate these up.
Yeah.
Here, I'll grab you a spoon.
Got one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh
go
my
for a-
gosh, I am
go
so
for a shake.
excited. Ooh, a little shake and pour. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I love this because we've got that blueberry sweetness and then that tart cranberry. Like, bring this
Oh my
to your
God.
next
good.
family gathering and you are going to be a total rock star.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Then you have to bring the, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna be the fritter queen of your family. Okay, I'm gonna break into it. Look at all those little.
So you see that inside, you can
Oh,
see the pieces.
yeah.
And it's just enough that they come together that, because you don't have to cook vegetables too much,
No,
right?
you just
So
want
it's
them to
just
be
enough.
bright and green.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay, let's do this
Yeah,
thing.
I'm like, we gotta try this sauce.
Tawnya? Okay, let's go. Okay,
Oh my God. So good.
My friend. Absolutely amazing work, Tawnya. This was so beautiful. Thank you again so much for having us, and thank you for making these. Oh my gosh, what a delight.
So I really love giving Mary stuff when I'm here.
Okay.
I brought you something today,
Oh,
which is a little beaded orange shirt pin.
Oh my gosh,
This
thank
was made
you.
by a really lovely youth ambassador in my community named Dowie Dale.
Dowie Dale.
And she literally just made it last night.
Oh my gosh,
So,
Dowie Dale,
yes.
thank you so much. Tawnya, thank you so
Yes,
much
it's
for being
great.
here today. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.